What's up, party people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 175 and season 6, the season premiere of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 175th time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow scumbags, criminals, hoodlums, lowlifes, shady characters, heathens, fugitives from justice, scoundrels, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, wise guys, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, MLB players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper. Yeah, I know who you are, and thanks for watching. Cheats, gangsters, fienders with abusive language, degenerates. I mean, let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem, all right? If you're new to the show, hey, congratulations. You probably fit into a few or more of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us. Gooba gobble, one of us. We accept it. It never gets old. It just doesn't. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner. That way, ring that bell. You can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word's also very easy. Just tell other degenerates and scumbags you know to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches right in the search bar. That'll take you directly to my page, and you can get dialed into everything that I drop on you. Also, if you're new, excuse me, and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners, and the occasional boxing match thrown in. Excuse me. The books don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. They just don't. I'm an outlier and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene!
Yes, indeed. Now, that's exactly what I do. I go to the mattresses every single week and I get the info for you to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. All right? Now, before we get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts. Al?
Give me all you got! Listen, give me all you got!
That's right. A couple of shout outs right off the bat go to some people that have passed on since Stoniecast 174 back in April. In 1 week last month in July, we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne, and Hulk Hogan. If you were a teen during the 80s like I was, those were big losses. As for me personally, two men that I adored passed on too. Nelson, a.k.a. Nelly Cruz, and Nicola Apostolopoulos were fathers of my friends, and they're both gone now after living long and fulfilling lives. So thoughts and prayers go out to Nelly and Nicola's family. And lastly, big props to my boy Vijax, or as he's more commonly known as, Turtle, for becoming a grandpa for the first time, proving one thing. Damn, you're old, dog. Congrats, though, my brother. Now, before I get to the news over the last couple months that I've been off, let me start like I start every season with a disclaimer. These picks that I give you are all 100% free, and they are of my opinion. I don't do what I call boutique bets, like NFL regular season win totals. Will Patrick Mahomes throw for more or less than X amount of touchdowns? How many yards will this guy rush for, etc.? I also don't do parlays, unless I tell you, right? And those are rare, so every now and then I'll give them to you. I give you picks against the number and the occasional money line, but that's it. Again, these are all my opinion. If you're using these picks to get rich, I must tell you to stop right now and go out and get a freaking job. All right? This is for the fienders like Justin and Josh who wager on everything and hopefully increase their bankrolls. That's what this is for. I always give a shout out to my boy Vinny B, who I believe does it the right way. His way is, his philosophy, to do his own research and then compare it to my picks, right? So go ahead and do your own research instead of me being the be-all, end-all for you, right? What Vinny does is he compares his picks to mine, and if we agree, he fires. If we don't agree, then he's got to think about it. Doesn't mean he's not going to go against me, because he does. right? But when he's with me and we're on the same side and it hits, I usually see a ticket. He'll send me a ticket that's about to cash. You know, that's always a good feeling, right? Now, I'm going to give you every single NFL pick for every single game this season. College football and college hoop games will be chosen at random, and every MLB playoff side and total in October. Now, as for programming notes, this is a Thursday, but beginning with next week, I'll be posting the majority of this season's Stoniecasts on Wednesdays because of the start of Thursday night football, beginning with college football next week in the NFL and college the following week going forward. Right? Now, I usually do about 35 to 36 Stoniecasts per season, and they go from this one, episode 1, all the way to episode 35 or 36, which will be the NCAA National Championship in early April. Basketball National Championship in early April. That's it. Then I take the summer off. I'm like a teacher. Now, a lot's happened over the last few months, and I have to go right off the bat against ESPN's partnership with the NFL and Fox for their own streaming service. ESPN began their direct-to-consumer service yesterday, right? With a price tag of $30 a month. Yeah. And starting October 1st, you can bundle that with Fox and pay $40 a month. My question is, who's going to buy this? I just don't see who the market is for this service. If you already have ESPN via your cable provider, satellite, or streaming service, then you're good. You don't need this. Same with Fox. You get FS1, you get Fox, Big Fox, you get all the channels that will be showing you sports matchups. ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPN U, right? All those channels are part of basic cable nowadays, right? Buying that service will basically be for people that don't have cable. And let's face it, who the hell doesn't have cable? Basic cable. Granted, you will get the Red Zone channel thanks to ESPN's deal with the NFL. That's a nice perk. You'll also get what used to be referred to as WWE pay-per-views, right? But for $40 a month, for college football, Fox has Big Ten games and ESPN has SEC games. But basic cable gives you access to these already. Now, sure, for the true fienders that are into stats and fantasy sports, you can get some real-time info. But how different is that from any sports app? Or even better, any gambling site, which are updating their numbers for live in-game betting, which is another thing I don't do. It's not that I don't condone it, because I do. If you're down with that, by all means, get yours, Josh. I just don't see how people who don't have cable are going to pay for this. And if you have cable and are going to pay for this, please let me know why in the comments. Or just reach out. Let me know. Because I can't understand why people would pay $40 for something they already have. I could be wrong, but I see this as a huge future disappointment for ESPN going forward, right? As if they don't have enough trouble, right, these days. With some idiot named Monica McNutt, who just the other day saw a guest come on First Take with a Barry Sanders jersey on and thought it was a Shedeur Sanders jersey. Who doesn't know the difference there? Well, obviously, she certainly doesn't. I mean, Barry Sanders' jersey is iconic. It just is. That blue and silver jersey, or even the white and blue jersey of the Lions. Right? DEI hires are making foolish mistakes that anyone with half a brain knows. ESPN's glory days of the 90s are long gone. And their personalities have gone off the deep end, which has led to ESPN's Sports Center at night being borderline unwatchable. Unless Scott Van Pelt is hosting. I mean, that's the only time I watch Sports Center now. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, probably 40 years, but at least 30 years. Every single night when I go to bed, I put the TV on Sports Center and I set the timer. So I fall asleep to SportsCenter every single night. And the hosts nowadays, oh my God, they're unwatchable. They really are. But hopefully with football season, SVP will be back in the building and it'll get better. All right? So now, before I get to the picks, let's take a peek at last year's numbers. All right? You have to. NFL picks all season long, including the playoffs, I finished up at 58.88%. And that's over 300 picks. NCAA football, all season, including bowl games, I finished at 60.93% after 390 picks. 61% basically. MLB playoffs, 49.08%, which obviously wasn't good. It just didn't work. I wasn't feeling it last October. And in NCAA hoops, I finished 57.9% after more than 1,500 picks and 62.5% after 125 picks in the postseason. That's, when you add it all up, I gave out 1,557 wins, 1,112 losses, and 28 ties. That adds up to 58.7%, making it my second best season that I've had up to this point. Think about that for a minute. I gave you Fienders over 2,600 plays for free last year and still hit at 58.7. A quick primer for those of you virgins that are trying to become true degenerates. Anything above 52.2% is winning. 55% is very good. Above 60% is almost unheard of and Hall of Fame level shit. My goal every year is 57%. And I've passed that in 4 of the 5 years of all the Stoniecast. It's just, it's what I do.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Teddy, that one never gets old either. Now, lastly, once again, please remember that all these picks are 100% free. So for all the touts out there, I hear you, Brent Musburger, that are charging you for picks and always giving you 75 to 80% winners guaranteed. Come on, stop. We all know you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks.
Oh!
Come on, really? With me, just come to YouTube every week and I'll drop my plays on you for free. All right, you ready? All right, away we go. Episode 1. Al?
Just win, baby.
That's right. The NCAA's infamous Week 0 games kick off this weekend. And while it's not exactly the most juicy matchups, and there are a few gems out there that we can add to our bankrolls and get off the season to a good start. The NCAA and the sports media have dubbed this as Week 0 because not everybody plays until next week, which is going to be insane because literally everybody plays next week. So while it may be Week 0 to them, for me, it's episode 1 of season 6. So let's get it all started with the 2025 Aer Lingus College Football Classic at noon Eastern on ESPN on Saturday at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland, with a solid Big 12 matchup as 17th ranked Kansas State is a 3-point favorite versus 22nd ranked Iowa State, and the total set at 51.5 in a game that's commonly referred to as Farmageddon. Iowa State shared the Big 12 regular season title last year, while K-State finished 8th. In 128 meetings between these two schools, Iowa State leads overall by only 4 games. So it's always been a good rivalry. K-State head coach Chris Kleiman starts year 7 in the Little Apple, with quarterback Avery Johnson back for his now junior campaign, which was solid last year, his sophomore year, including a 3-touchdown performance in the Wildcats' 44-41 win over Rutgers in the Rate Bowl. Running back Dylan Edwards is also now a junior, and he was the MVP of the Rate Bowl after rushing for a $196 and 2 scores on 18 carries. Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell, he begins his 10th season in Ames. looking to capitalize on last year's 11-3 mark, and a lot of his team's success this year will be dependent on junior quarterback Rocco Becht. Following a 3,500-yard, 25-touchdown season last year, Becht capped it all off with 3 touchdowns and a 42-41 win over Donnie O's beloved Canes in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Junior featureback Carson Hansen is also back following a big sophomore campaign to set up the Cyclones for a huge season. This 3-point number is very similar to the odds makers' Week 1 NFL lines, where they really don't know what to make of it, so one team is a 3-point favorite. Yeah, you'll see plenty of that in 2 weeks when the NFL gets underway. But in this one, I'm leaning towards Kansas State, but I'll be happy to take the points here with the Cyclones. All right? So give me Iowa State catching 3, and while you're at it, you might as well just add a little sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
Attaboy 40. That one never gets old either. And while we're at it, I'm going to take under 50.5, all right? Because I think both teams' offenses will be looking for an early season groove, and this is not a parlay. So it's 2 separate plays. Iowa State +3 and under 50 and a hook. 4 Eastern at Allegiant Stadium in America's Playground of Las Vegas on the Mountain West Network. Nevada-Las Vegas is a huge 26.5-point chalk versus Idaho State, and the total 65.5. After spending the last 3 to 4 years on TV and college football studios, Dan Mullen takes over in Vegas for the Rebels. Remember Dan Mullen? I know you do. Part of the New Hampshire mafia of coaches, along with Chip Kelly, and Gary Crowton. Mullen has coached or been the OC of names like Alex Smith, Heisman Trophy winner Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott, and Kyle Trask in his years in Salt Lake City, Starkville, and Gainesville. Now he has to replace 20 starters that are gone from a Rebels team that has been in the Mountain West title game the last 2 years. Mullen hit the portal hard, very hard, and came up with a damn good recruiting class of a lot of 4 stars that are there in Vegas now. But he hasn't named a starter yet, 2 days from game time. He hasn't named a starter quarterback. He's got Michigan transfer Alex Orhe or Virginia transfer Anthony Colandrea. Against Idaho State on Saturday, I expect to see both, because last year the Bengals ranked 122nd out of 129 FCS teams in scoring defense, allowing 38 per game. This game is about Mullen making a statement, and this was supposed to be a Week 3 matchup, but it was moved up to Week 0 because on September 13th at Allegiant Stadium, think about it, Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford are going to be throwing hands in what's going to be the fight of the year. Now, this only helps UNLV. Mullen wants to make a splash, and there's no better way to do it than against a team that's just awful. I'm going to roll with the Rebels here, and call me crazy, but I'm going to lay the 26 in a chunk. And while Vegas, I'm just going to kick back and watch Vegas hang 45 or maybe even a 50 burger on the Bengals. 6:30 Eastern on Big Fox at the newly renovated David Booth Memorial Stadium in Lawrence. Kansas is a 12.5-point home favorite over Fresno State, and the total's 50.5. KU sold out the Booth for the first time ever for their season opener, with one of the Big 12's best coaches in Lance Leipold and senior quarterback Jalen Daniels back. Last year, the Jayhawks were a disappointment at 5-7, but they lost 5 games by 6 or less. Former 2-time national championship head coach of North Dakota State, Matt Entz, spent the last 2 years as Lincoln Riley's defensive assistant in USC before being hired in September to take over in Fresno, where he inherits a total mess. While I think Entz was a good hire, and the Bulldogs are only going to improve, right now they're a mess. They're a total disaster. His brand new roster must replace 75% of Fresno's offensive production and 8 starters on defense. He's in trouble this Saturday. All right. I love KU at 11 or 11 and a half, but I still like him at 12 and a half. Despite the public betting the Jayhawks down from 14 and a half to 12 and a half, I'll still take Kansas, and I'm going to lay the points. Conference USA gets going on Saturday at 7 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, a little more than an hour north of here at LT Smith Stadium in Bowling Green. Western Kentucky's a 10.5 point home chalk versus Sam Houston, and the total 61.5. Western Kentucky head coach Tyson Helton begins year 7 in Bowling Green and has taken the Hilltoppers to a bowl game in all 6 seasons. After losing to James Madison in the Boca Raton Bowl to finish 8-6, Helton sees this as the year that the Hilltoppers can take the CUSA title. Enter quarterback Maverick McIver through the transfer portal. Graduate student from Abilene Christian, where he was an FCS second-team All-American quarterback. McIver has 2 excellent wideouts as WKU looks to continue their recent success of reloading on the offensive side. Phil Longo was Sam Houston's offensive coordinator from 14 to 16 and spent the last 8 years as the OC at Ole Miss, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. Now he's back at Sam Houston in his first head coaching gig, and it's going to be a tough one in what has transition season written all over it. Despite a very good defense last year, the Bearcats will be playing off campus this year for stadium reconstruction, and with Longo's history of offense, I expect to see a steadily improving unit. So I'm going to back off the side here, and I'm going to roll with over 61.5 as the scoreboard is going to be lighting up all night. And finally, for those of you newbies, or for those of you like my boy Lugo, who love the Degenerate Special, the last game on the board each week is known as either the Degenerate Special or the Late Night Get Right, in which you fienders that don't take my advice and have a rough day can make it all go away with one last winner to get you back on track or get you back to even. Or if you're smart, you follow me and you have a winning day, you can double it all to close out the day. This week's Degenerate Special goes at 7:30 Eastern on CBS at the TC Chang Complex in Stony Lulu. Hawaii's a 2.5 point favorite over Stanford, and the total's 50.5. After Troy Taylor led Stanford to back-to-back 3-9 seasons, he was fired back in March amid an investigation into alleged bullying of the athletic department. I mean, come on. You know, enter Andrew Luck as the GM and the new head coach, Frank Reich, right? To try and restore the Cardinal to their great 20-year run under Jim Harbaugh and David Shaw. Oregon State transfer Ben Gulbranson, he's going to get the keys as the starting quarterback after spending 5 years in Corvallis, and now he's finally a starter. The good news for Stanford's defense is that they're returning plenty of pieces. But the bad news is that they were just awful last season, averaging 6.4 yards allowed per play. Hawaii legend Timmy Chang begins year 4 with his best roster yet. He inherited complete trash when he took over in Stony Lulu. But the players are buying into him, and Micah Alejado is now the starting quarterback after backing up Braden Shager last year. The Rainbow Warriors defense is excellent, and they're led by 3 outstanding linebackers, right? After 5 wins in each of the last 2 seasons, Hawaii thinks they can go bowling this year. Hawaii hasn't beaten a power conference team since 2019, and they've never played an ACC team. Ever. Which is kind of odd. But that ends on Saturday night in Stony Lulu, where I'm going to roll with the Rainbow Warriors here. I'm going to lay 2.5 to close out the week 0 and episode 1 for your boy Stony. So that's it. That's all you get, because that's all there is. 6 plays to wet your beaks and get the new season kicked off the right way. 4-2 is all I seek this week to open up the season. It would be nice, but 5-1 has a better sound to it. Now remember that the majority of Stoniecast this week will be released on Wednesdays. So until next Wednesday, just remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. The difference between winning and making money is that anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. And yep, I still miss you, Gooch. My brother.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.